Smoothing her skirt back into place, she tugged on her gloves, repinned her hat, and set off again down the forest path. That little escapade had set her back a few minutes, and it would not do to discommode the Dowager Countess, though Penny knew the invitation to tea had been at the behest of that lady's son. A month ago, the Earl had written to inform her of bequest for her in Millie's will. Rather than simply have it shipped, however, he insisted she'd need to collect it in person. It had been an odd request, given she'd never met his lordship before, but Penny had been close to Millie once upon a time, so as soon as she was able, she'd set off for the estate. Nearly a year had passed since Millie, who had been Penny's childhood friend, had died by her own hand, but the pain still burned like a fresh wound. Penny had been away in the Crimea with Miss Nightingale when the incident occurred. She had nursed hundreds of strangers while her dearest friend lay dying back in England. And though they'd not seen one another in years, there was one thing Penny knew for certain. There was no way Millie would have ever taken her own life, and now that she was home, with time to spare before she took up her position at St. Thomas' Hospital, she meant to look into her friend's death. So deep in her own thoughts was she, Penny nearly overlooked the man sprawled on the forest floor. Just off the path, he was half hidden behind a thicket of gorse, but when she moved closer, she realized two things at once. The man's clothes pronounced him a gentleman, and he was bleeding copiously from a wound in the shoulder. Had this been the result of the shot she'd heard earlier? Like a children's top, spun and set free, Penny's mind twirled into action. This, she knew, this simultaneous rush of fear and calm, fright and control. Even as her heart raced, her mind assessed, evaluated, decided. Every ounce of her intellect focused on the patient before her. That he was the Earl of Rickarby, the man she suspected might have something to do with Millie's death, was immaterial. She catalogued his features as she knelt beside him. It was a mental exercise she'd developed during the darkest days in Scutari. Hair, somewhat curly, dark brown, she thought as she tore off a strip from her petticoat. Nose, aquiline, strong, but a good fit for his face, she noted, folding the cotton into a thick pad. Lips, full but not too full, she marked as she ripped away his shirt to get a better look at the wound. He was a devilishly handsome man, she thought, noting the heavy muscling of his shoulders as she pressed the pad into the seeping wound. Millie had always had an eye for a handsome face.